I wanted to illustrate the concept of disenfranchised grief with an example. Just as a reminder, disenfranchised grief is when the loss is not really recognized as affecting a person, and so their grief is not really validated by society. Let me give you an example. So let's take an example where a child passes away. So who's recognized for grieving that loss? Definitely the parents, the siblings. Those are the main people who are really recognized as having valid grief. So who's a little bit less recognized? Grandparents, cousins, classmates, maybe the current teachers. So now we get to the really disenfranchised people. So these are people who could very well be affected by this loss, yet not at all recognized and not validated at all. So let's say friends' parents, right? The kid was over a lot, but who's going to think that the kid's friends' parents are grieving this loss? Neighbors. The neighbor saw the kid playing all the time outside, or maybe he had them come over for cookies. Who knows what? Who thinks the neighbor is going to be grieving this? The medical staff at the hospital. Maybe we think, well, they see this kind of thing all the time. Why are they grieving this? What about the woman who cleaned the girl's house and has been coming for 5 years? Who's going to come to her and say, how are you doing with this loss? And then maybe teachers from past years. So those are just a few examples, but I hope that this illustrates the fact that there are some people who are recognized for having a really valid reason to grieve, and there are others who aren't. But we're going to work towards an awareness that it's important to validate. If somebody says they're grieving over a loss, we recognize that it affected them and impacted them, and that's no less valid than the people who are directly connected.